Okay, so we might want to say that on this our chart, we want to include the title of this axis, right? And this one below, the Y and the X axis. But for me, I don't want to include this. Maybe I remove it and I want to include chart title. This is the chart title is already there. That's why you see each chart. I want to include data labels. Data labels is for it to actually show me the percentages of these different bars. So I'll select data labels. Wow, this is nice, but it is nice, but the data is in two decimal places. We need to correct that, right? So these grid lines are making it maybe you might want to keep them, but for me, I don't want to keep them because it was actually useful when we do not have these percentages on our data. So I want to remove them. So I remove it and boom, I can delete this. Once I delete this, it's more of a clear picture, right? So what happens? You can play with this chart as much as possible. You can change the color when you click on this small brush below the plus sign at the top right of the chart. You can play with it, you change it. You can change the color of the chart. You can select whatsoever color you want to select, and boom, you have it change. Now let's use this color. Okay, I think my chart is fine. I'll move to the next, right? With this, I don't want the chart to have these percentages, so I want to leave it at without the decimal place. So this is the first chart that I've created. Okay, if you are following, can I just have a thumb up? We have the next chart that we want to create. Maybe the second chart is this one. This one I'm not going to be explaining again too much. I'm just going to go ahead and create it. This one I want to use a pie chart like this one, the one we used yesterday. Then I come to my pivot chart analysis view. I remove the few labels and then I insert data label. Once I insert the data label, I'm able to insert the title of the chart. The title of the chart is participants by region. Participants by region. Those who were involved in the survey from the Northwest, from the East region and the far North region, right? We see those from the East region are in blue, while those from the far North region are in orange. What color is this? So I'm going to quickly do this so that we dive directly to the dashboard, right? So this is, let me use this other chart now. Remove fee handles and then I bring in the data label. I remove the grid lines. I remove this. You can name the axis if you wish. But this, I'll call this now the food consumption score. Food consumption score. Which one have we not included? Okay, this one now. No, this one. Okay, another. Let me include another chart. This one, there are only two of them. I can also use this. I can use this as well. This is beautiful. Fill, I move the fill. I include the data label. By the top right, data label, and as well as I can change the color here. No, this one is not beautiful. Okay, maybe we have this one with two different colors. So I might want to increase the size of this, our donut chart. What can I do to increase it? I need to highlight it. I need to highlight it and then I right click. I say maybe format data series. If I format the data series, I can reduce this as I'm reducing. The chart is supposed to be increasing. Do you see that? The donut chart is being formatted as I'm editing it. Maybe I want it to be this nice. I say, okay, it's fine by me. What's this chart all about? Is the reduce open strategy index, right? Wow, this is beautiful. So now I want to start creating my dashboard, right? So that it picks all of this. The fun within the dashboard now is that I want to create a dashboard that is interactive, right? That everyone can come and then navigate through the dashboard and pick whatsoever information they need. All of this information is just our data collection activity. This is not showing us by region. It is not showing us by type of activity. It is not showing us by sex. It is not showing us by region or by displacement status. But I want to create a dashboard that if you click displacement status, it's just going to show you maybe IDPs. It's just going to show you maybe refugees that were in the data set. If you want to see just males, you see data collection activities by just the sex. Same here, once you click, it is going to automatically filter all of the database or the dashboard to show you this particular category that you have selected, right? It means that if I want to see only for the far north, I might just click the far north and it takes me automatically to this. So for those of us who are doing maybe financial analysis and maybe you want to check sales in a particular shop, right? You can just go to that particular shop, you click it, it's going to show you the sales to that particular shop. You want to see it for a particular duration, maybe in January, you just click January, it's going to show you sales for that particular shop in January. You want to see it for a particular salesperson, you can just click that salesperson's name and it's going to show you. So let's see that. Let me open a new sheet, and in that new sheet, we start developing our dashboard, right? So this one, I'm going to call it dashboard. So before I will start creating my dashboard, the first thing I will do is when you go to Power BI to create your dashboard, we always see that the interface, right, that you want to create your dashboard has already been created. And you can now start doing bringing in your charts, bringing in your conditions that you want to align in the dashboard. But with Microsoft Excel, you are the one to design or to define exactly what range you want to use. So let's say, okay, we want to start creating our dashboard. The first thing is that these grid lines on these sheets I'm going to remove them so much such that they don't interfere with my dashboard, right? I want to have a better picture of what I'm doing. So the first thing, I'll go to the View tab and then I remove the grid lines. Wow, this is more like Microsoft Word now. So what do I need to do? I will use more of the Insert tab. I try to insert some shapes, right? That is going to make my dashboard beautiful. So I may want to say maybe you take illustrations and then I select shapes. I want to use this one. Okay, I want to bring maybe the title of what I want to do, right? I'll bring it right in here. I choose the color. Maybe the color of my organization is this one. And then I can comfortably write inside now. So I say baseline. Maybe this is my activity. You can call it baseline and PTM and PTM report for 2025, right? So we need to centralize this and make it look bigger. So I'll come back to the Home tab, and where we have alignment, I will take it align to the center, and then I can highlight it, and then I increase the font size to make it bigger or even bolder. Increase the font size from here. Wow, this is beautiful. So this is what we have now. So we can change the color, we can play with all of this, right? But this is not our interest for now. So what do I need to do? Let's say the name of my organization is what organization can we take? Okay, let's use country. Let's say, okay, we are from Africa, right? And I want to include the logo of my country here or from the continent that I'm from here. So what I need to do is to just try and identify the map. Maybe the map, I bring it here. Maybe the logo of my organization, I put it here to make it look beautiful, right? Let me just go to this and then I try to search maybe Africa map on Google. African map. Once I have that, I'll come to images. Which one do I want to use? I check for a possible map that I would like to use. Let me say I want to use this one. Okay. So I'll need to screenshot. If I screenshot this, it's going to select it as an image, right? I'll screenshot it. Say, okay, I want to screenshot this. I screenshot it. Once I screenshot it, it's going to take it to images in my computer. So I want to highlight it. I want to put it here. So I might want to merge all of these cells. Then I say, okay, I want to put it here, right? So what do I need to do? I need to bring in the image now. So I highlight this, and then I go back to my insert tab. We'll see illustrations still, see pictures, right? So it's asking me to either place it in a cell or to place it over a cell. To place it over a cell is going to be placed above this cell, but I want it to be within this area that I've selected. So I'll just say place it in a cell, right? I'll say, okay, select the picture from this device. Now, once it opens this, you see automatically opens where that picture is located. I'll open it, and then I'll look for that particular picture that I just screenshot. But I select insert, and it's going to bring the picture here. Can you see what dashboard is looking already making sense? Let's say our organization is its analytics, and I want to bring the logo of its analytics by the right, sorry. So I'm going to also merge all of these cells, right? So much so that I can put the logo there. So what do I need to do? I need to come back to my home tab and merge these cells. I go back to my insert tab. I have the logo already of each analytic in my machine, so I want to look for it, right? If I don't have it, I might want to request for it. So now that I have it in my machine, I just want to input it. So I go back to insert tab, illustration, pictures, place in the cell. So I want to place it within that particular area that I selected. And then I look for it in my computer. Let me see if I have it here. Okay, this is it. Boom. I want to select it. And once I select it, you see it automatically appears here. So this is what we have now. This is looking beautiful, right? So one other thing we need to do is to bring the chart into the analysis pan, and we are able now to create our analysis. We are able now to create our dashboards. So where is our analysis? Okay, let's find it. Okay, this is the analysis, right? So I might want to bring this. Maybe I copy it, right? And then I bring it to the dashboard. I paste it here. Maybe I paste it here, and then I try to reduce the size to align with what I need to do, right? Maybe I want this one to be here. Then I bring the next one. I want to bring this one, I right click, copy it. I bring it to the dashboard. Hello guys, I hope you are enjoying the session. Please, if you are enjoying the session, please just give a thumb up. You just need to bring this one, we bring it here. This is already looking like a dashboard for me. Now what do I need to do next? I need to bring the next one. I right click and I copy this. Let me just add all of them and let's see the magic that follows. Okay. I bring the last one, copy it, and I bring it to my dashboard, right? Well, maybe want this to portray much better. I don't want it to overlap the end of my design. So I want this one to be displayed like this. So let's say I want to actually show the total number of participants in this survey. So maybe I want it to appear a bit up, just so much so that when I'm doing a presentation, I can see the total number of persons that were interviewed, right? Maybe I want to include it here. So what do I need to do? I just need to put an equal sign. I don't know if we had that here on our analysis tab. Oh, no, we do not have it here. So let me just include it. If I bring this down, I just copy it, right? I highlight it. Let me remove this so that we can see what I'm doing. So what I need to do is to highlight, I copy, I bring it down, I paste it, and then I go to my pivot field. Can you see that when I select this, the pivot field is not appearing by the right? What do I need to do to have it? And I click and I select show field list. When I select this show field list, it's going to bring up the pivot table field list so that I can actually select what I want to select. So I need to remove this. And now these are the total number of participants, but I don't want it showing in percentage. So I come back to my home tab and then I say I want this to show as numbers. And I click here. Maybe I can also say show value as, or no. Maybe, okay. Let's go back to the normal way. We come back to the home tab. We say we want this to display as numbers, right? So I just click it and it's showing me numbers. Let me see. Okay, no calculation. Boom, we have 37 persons that participated in the survey. So I have to remove the number of the smart places to have no the smart place, so I remove this. Now I know that this is this range. So on my dashboard, I want to include the total number of persons that were in this survey. So I'll just come back to analysis and then this range. I click on enter. So you see, each time that number is changing, is also going to change here. So this is the automation we're talking about. This time the total number of participants is changing. We are going to see slicers. So if I select slicers, I'm going to categories here. This pop up, this okay. In order to insert now the slicers, if you select any of these pivot table, you can now by coming to the insert tab, like I said, and you click on slicer, and you are going to see this dialog box appearing. On this dialog box, you are going to see the various activities or the various boxes that you can try to bring in your slicer. So one thing I want to bring in my slicer is to be able to see the various mode of the activities, the type of assistance, right? Maybe I leave out the type of assistant. I want to see from which region which activity was conducted. I want to see activity by community. I want to see the sex. I want to see the age group like we did before. And I'm going to use the displacement status. How many IDPs, how many refugees. So when I'm doing my reporting and I want to do maybe demographic analysis or demographic write-up, I need to come and say, okay, how many of these participants were within this particular age group? How many of them were within the age group of maybe 0 to 15, 15 to 49, and 49 plus? How many of them were refugees? How many of them were IDPs? And maybe how many of them were returnees? The same thing with sex, how many of them were males and how many of them were females, and so on and so forth. So I'll select data collection activities where we can click and we see all the responses or all the findings for baseline and the PTM activity. So let's select this. So once I select this, we are going to have a host of slicers that are created, right? These are the slicers we selected that we want to create. So now these slicers, we can reshape them. We can put them in a particular format, so much so that it does not occupy a lot of space like this. So what do I need to do? You see, we have the baseline here, we have the PTM activity here. It means that if I click on baseline, you see this is changing automatically, right? Let me put this to the right. If I click on baseline, you see that this is changing automatically. It's giving me the percentages for the baseline survey. If I click on this, this is giving me the percentages of the baseline of the PTM. We saw when we were doing our data cleaning that the PTM had just these two activities. So automatically when we click on this, it gives us a bit of work. So we do our baseline, our PTM. So to select all of this, you just need to highlight it and then you highlight it too so that it shows us all this activity. So let's align all of this now. Maybe I want each of them to show exactly to the level where they are showing. So I just need to resize this, resize this, resize this, then I resize all of them. In order to resize all of them, you can group all of them as well. And then you come to the slicer editor, right up by the top right, and then you can give it a particular width, right? Let's highlight all of them and see what I'm talking about. So once I highlight all of these, I can now come to the slicer editor and say, okay, I want this thing to have a particular width. So once I start selecting, you see the width is increasing. I can increase the width right up to this level. I see that some of them are still having maybe data. Right, I want to reduce, maybe this is the height I've reduced. I want to also reduce the width, right? I've already reduced the height to what I need. Maybe I want to reduce the width. I also need to reduce from here. Maybe I click and say, okay, let's reduce the width so much so that this thing does not occupy space, a lot of space. I can reduce it as such. So once this is okay, you see that all of this is selected, right? So what I can do is I can copy it to my dashboard. Once all of it is selected and I click on copy, it's going to copy all of them. But I want to cut it. I don't want them to be here. So I take it to my dashboard. I bring it here. And I can paste them here. Wow, this is nice. So if I paste it here, I want to maybe connect it up, put them here. If this aligns, then fine. If it does not align, we might want to put some of the slicers down. So this is fine by me. I can still reduce this length of the width of some of them. Let's reduce the length and the width of this one. So much that we see only the male and the female. Can also reduce the width of this one to align well. Reduce the width of this one. Okay, I think this is fine. Can just put them like that. So remember when we were at this level, I selected just this pivot table and I used to insert the slicer, right? I use this to insert the slicer. So anytime I click on anything, it's going to highlight only for this. Maybe I want to filter. You see, this is the type of data collection activity, right? When I come to the dashboard, maybe I click only baseline. This one is only going to be the one that is going to change because I selected only that pivot table. Can you see that? Wow, this is nice. So once I click on maybe only PTM alone, okay, only baseline alone is going to take me to only this, but I want all of this to change. I want this to pick. I also want this to pick. So how am I going to do that? So this is very interesting now. I need to highlight all of this and then I link all the pivot tables to all the slicers, right? So how am I going to do that? I'm going to start with the first one. I'll right click on it. You're going to see report connections. Once I click on report connections, it's going to bring up the various pivots that I have on my analysis here. So what do I need to do? I select all the pivots so much so that when I click on each, it's going to pick all the pivots. So I can take, okay, wow, this is nice now. So if I click on any of these, you will see the changes, right? If I want to see for January, it's going to pick only for January for all of these various charts that we have. Let me see, I want to see February, right? You see it's changing for all of them. Boom. This one is changing. Is this not nice? This one is changing as well. So I want to see for all of them, I need to highlight all of them. Once it's highlighted, I know it's fine. But let's look at this other one. If I click only for females, you see, just this one is changing. Just this one is changing. I want to see only males, just that one will change. So I also need to link these slicers to all of these charts before it is able to pick for all of this. So what do I need to do? I need to highlight all of these, right? I need to highlight all of that. Once I highlight it, I right click again. I do the same thing I did for the first one, report connections, and I select all the slicers, all the charts. Well, that is done. So what happens now? All of them are selected. I need to do the same thing for all the charts. But before doing that, ensure that everything is selected on that chart, right? So we have both the is and the far not selected. So I can report connections here. Link all of them to the pivot tables. So I link this. This is linked to only one pivot table, as you can see here. So I want to link it to other pivot tables. I link it here. This, this, this. Then I take OK. I do the same thing here. Put connections for all the pivot table. That. And then finally, I report this last one, right? Well, this is what we can do. Interesting. So once this is done, if I click baseline, it's moving. If I click on only Loom or is it okay, Gulai? You see, nothing was done in Gulai. For the base, for the PTM activity, nothing was done in that particular location. You see zero, that number of participants zero. But let's include the baseline. If I select these two, right? Let's see. You see, activities were done only in these communities. Activities in the for baseline was done only in this community in Gulai. And that's why you see it's highlighting this. And it was done in February and March. So you see in January, nothing was done. No baseline activity was done in that particular location. And this baseline activity was done in the far north. You see the east region is not highlighted. So once I include now PTM activities, you see it's picking just this particular location. Let me highlight all of it. And it brings me back to where I started. And this is very interesting. So in all of these surveys, how many of them were males and how many of them were females? I want to see that. I'll just come here. I say in my baseline, right? In my baseline activity, we had a total of 13 females. How many males? That did not change. I think 13 female, 13 males. As well as if you want to look at those who activities that were done in January, you click here, you are going to see. So this is a very, very, very nice dashboard that we can always design and we use in our reporting. This is just an example of what we can create. There is a lot more that we can learn and then we do with this dashboard. But basically, this is what is nice that we can do, right? If we had other indicators, we will include the chart here and you make the dashboard very bigger and very nice. You can also insert shapes, right? You can also insert a shape like this. And then maybe we put it here. and we want to is going to identify to do. You need to first of all come to your analysis